All right, everybody, we're back, and today we are going to go diving. Not diving in water, but we are going source diving. So, meaning we are going to be exploring the code and seeing which parts of it we understand of a very thorny part of a React.js application, which is the code editor that we're making. So, let's have a look. Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, let me do that. I think it is visible now.
There
Is
it
it?
is.
Okay.
Oh yeah, okay, dark mode, of course. Yeah, that is. Let me share my screen actually, because my screen is smaller, so it will show up a lot better on
Okay.
the. We should be looking at the same thing, anyways. So, it's mine. Uh-huh. Here it is. All right. So, yeah, that should be. It's a little bit more visible. Cool. Well, we're looking at the same thing, anyways. So,
Mm-hmm.
can you see my cursor?
Yeah, I can.
No, I'm following you, so but I don't actually see where you're. Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. So we got quite a deep file here, 853 lines. Um, what are we looking at here? What does this file do?
So this is basically the file for main code editor that we have on our sandbox.
Yeah.
So this is basically where all the code that you create with when you create a new project is at, and you can edit it from this editor.
So
This is
this is
basically
the
it.
so this contains basically one React component mainly, which is called code editor. And that code editor is like probably helps to show it. But so let me have a let me share the editor itself here. So if you look at my screen here, that editor is it this that we're looking at? This,
So that editor is basically
oh, it's
when you
the thing.
yeah, so everything you see from when you click on a file, basically click on main.py. Yeah, so this whole screen is basically that editor.
Um, but so the sidebar, that's not part of the.
This this no sidebar, we have a different component for that.
Oh yeah,
So with the code editor and the terminal, basically we are importing terminal from terminal context, but
right.
it is part of the code editor terminal and the preview screen.
But
So
yeah. So the
w-
so the but the terminal and the sidebar are both
yeah,
children.
where they are basically so the sidebar, the navigation bar, both of them are different different components and the
Yeah.
terminals as well. But we're just importing it into the code editor component.
Right. So and the run the this whole top tab as well. So these are all children components.
Yeah.
So the code editor is really everything that you see here on the screen, and it includes the other components,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Okay. And what about like hooks? What hooks are we depending on, or like what external um, like for example the socket connection, right? That's not something you can
Mhm.
see, but that's also used.
Yeah, so for socket, we have a lot of hooks. which is file loading, get file. Then we have okay, yeah. So we have get file, rename file, delete file, and
Yeah.
then delete folder, deleting yeah, delete folder, and everything. That
Let's just look at the very, very top.
okay.
So yeah, let's kind of like organize this from the top.
Mm-hmm.
So here I see these are all the UI components,
UI
right?
components, yeah.
All of this. From the
Else.
so we have some resizable handles, which are really useful.
Mm-hmm.
We have some icons. Maybe I put the icons actually separately. Um, it's a little bit different, but then we could even divide it into like these are like and then we could also have like edit like our own components that
Our
we
own component, yeah. Editor
create
components.
ourselves. So that's like or that are part of this project. So tab, sidebar, generate, that's all part of it.
Mm-hmm. And
And then
then you can put that. That is basically types
yeah,
and
these
utilities.
so these yeah, I'd put these above, somewhere.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what order, but I'm just trying to think like
Yeah.
so this here is I'm getting
Live
it
blocks.
disorganized, but I mean I'm going in a bit of a random order here, but then we have live blocks. This one must be connected to live blocks.
Yeah, yeah, that's
This is
connected to live blocks.
all live blocks, and this
Yeah,
is
the four of them are live from live blocks.
yeah,
Five
okay.
of them.
Live blocks is really complex, or in the way that it complex
Yeah.
interface. Um, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
call these
And then terminal.
external
So,
components.
so,
And
so terminal is our component piece.
so so xterm is actually an external one, but the tab bar.
Mm-hmm.
So man, can I stop following you somehow?
Right click
Unfollow.
on the.
Okay, yeah, I figured out. I unfollowed you. It was just
Oh,
making
okay, perfect. Yeah.
I didn't look at one spot. um, so here we have this one file slash terminals, and that I think is the tab bar for the terminals. Oh, interesting. Okay, and then we have so there's two things. The terminal component itself, that's xterm, and that we didn't make. But
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
why is that used here? Find out where we're using that. So this is
Yeah.
so it looks like
Yeah.
we are we're creating a list of those in this file. Do you see where I am? Oh yeah, we're in.
Yeah, yeah. I'm right there.
Yeah, so one question I have is like what would this be better put into the terminals file rather than here? I don't know.
I'm just looking into this terminals, terminals find. We're using a use state, and then there's a use effect also based on the use state.
A use effect of the list of terminals.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Uh,
Basically, we're calling set terminals function on
yeah.
that use effect.
So
And yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Let's go back to the top and come back to that one when we get there.
Okay.
So, so basically, starting at the top, this is really obvious React stuff. Um, Monaco editor, I'll put under external components along with Xterm. Those are the two main external
Yeah.
ones. Then we have, oh, this one as well. Also Toast as well. Clerk is just for authentication.
Mm.
This one, it's just types. It's not really, I don't really know.
And then types.
But, and then there's a, okay, these are a bunch of components. Okay, and then we have the context. Those are super important, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So, um, so the contexts are the preview provider, the use preview, and use socket.
And we will also have socket as well.
Oh, there's another, where?
Socket.
It's just use socket, right?
Yeah, it's just use socket.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's oh yeah, that's there. So then where is the terminal context?
I thought we got rid of that one. We combined it with socket context, right? Or
Oh
no?
yeah.
Did
No,
we?
no, no. I mean, wait, just give me a second. Terminal. I think we did not. Terminal is needed. Oh no, we're using terminal context in the terminals index.tsx, so it's fine. We are just importing terminals from terminal component, terminal function from there into this, so it's fine. We're not using that in this.
We're using it indirectly, you're saying.
Yeah, we're using it indirectly in
Oh,
another file, so it's fine.
okay. Yeah, so there's a lot going on in this file. Um, I think the scariest part's probably live blocks, and probably the socket context has been giving us
Yeah,
some.
that has been that has been a
Like, I wonder if
it's
one thing, this is just, I'm just, spitting ideas, but I wonder if one thing would be like, because use socket, let's have a look at that. Um, yeah, I
it's
wonder if one,
basically
mhm.
yeah, go on.
I wonder if one thing that might be improvement is if we do something like socket, is if this is, I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea. If you have something like socket ready or something like that, um, which would run once, or which we would catch once after the socket is ready.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that would help, but
But that's what basically we're doing
with the use effect.
with the use effect. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe. Um, so
because you see here we're just calling a socket if it's not there already.
where are you looking?
Just first, can you go through one more time what were you suggesting?
I'm not really sure what I was suggesting.
Okay. So if you look at line 58,
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, this is what you were saying, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so basically, um, what this block of code is supposed to do is something like when the socket is connected. No.
Hmm. It's basically getting if the socket is not there, then it's calling the function set user ID, set user and sandbox ID.
So when is so this is initializing the socket, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's basically when the user ID and sandbox ID is set, the sockets gets initialized.
Yeah. So basically, if the socket didn't need any authentication,
Mm-hmm.
we could actually just initialize it in socket context.tsx, and then
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
we could.
basically that. Yeah,
But the problem is that this user data comes in as a prop.
that we need
Yeah,
exactly.
and it comes in as a prop, and then that prop needs to get passed to the context.
Exactly. That was bugging me the most when I was implementing terminal context as well, because I needed user ID and sandbox data ID for in order to implement in order to make a terminal.
Yeah.
So
Um,
that's why.
exactly. Now, one question that I have here is, does the so we have user data
Hmm.
and sandbox data. Obviously, this has an ID, what user signed in, and this has a
Sandbox
ID,
ID.
what sandbox. Now, the way I'm interpreting this code is that the first time the code editor renders, these
Mm.
might be null or undefined, right?
Yeah,
Because you need to check with clerk to see who the user is.
but the in order to when the code editor basically renders, there will be these two, because to make a container of the in order to make a container we need these two, then only it will get made.
Right. But the first
That,
time that
yeah,
this code editor component renders, they might not be there.
um
Because
maybe
otherwise, you could just do you could just do this, right? If the if these are set from the beginning, right? Because here
yeah,
you're checking to make sure that the user ID and sandbox data ID
sandbox
exists,
is there.
right?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Like like if I did this or if I removed this, what would happen? Like would it would be null or something, or wouldn't it? Or do we know that? Should we just try it?
Yeah, let's just try it. I'm not. I haven't tried it actually.
Um, actually,
Let's.
we can do something similar. I could just I'll have to share my whole screen, and or actually it's running on. Yeah, so actually what I would do is how do we do this? No, how do we so I would just do something like this. I would just do like console.log user data ID
Oh yeah.
um sandbox, oops, sandbox data dot ID. Sometimes it moves my my cursor, so I'd say um, so user box data. So yeah, if we run it like this, then we already have a pretty good idea what's happening, I think.
Let me just run it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, maybe I could also run it inside the used effect, but so that it'll be pretty similar what we see. Um, so can you share your
Yep,
browser?
yep, yep, yep. I'm doing it. Just a second.
Sure.
Okay, I shared the screen with you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, then we would just want to look at like the yeah, exactly. Okay.
Why is it not loading? Oh yeah,
It's loading though. Okay.
yeah, and user and sandbox data.
So let's scroll back up to the top.
Here,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So here,
So is there any point above this if we keep going up? Like at the very top?
no,
Okay, so
no.
that's interesting though.
So the user data and sandbox data is there before initializing the socket connection, as you can see here.
Yeah, I guess my question is just if we go back to the code, like um or actually the real question that I would need to answer is how are these props, where are these props getting passed from? Because my question is like, could we just do hmm, um
What are you
could we
trying to
just
say?
do um so you're seeing what where I'm looking now, right?
Yeah.
So my real question is like, because I think a lot of this is like figuring out where there's simplification that can be done. So one of my questions is like, could you do this? Like, is this actually possible, theoretically possible to do what I've just done?
Um, use socket. But the user data and sandbox data should be passed into this function, set user and sandbox ID.
So yeah, that's how it's implemented. But I guess what I'm asking is, would it be possible to implement this
Let me see.
more from a more from a conceptual point of view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're set from the beginning, like, do you see what I'm getting at? Like,
Yeah,
if they're set from the beginning and they're just fixed props that never change, right? Then that would make sense.
yeah, I think we can do that.
But I don't know that for sure, and the only way to know for sure for me would be to go see where those props are getting set. So, um, here I'm gonna look where I am. You see where I am
You're
now
right.
in page.
Yeah, yeah, here.
You see me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm in page.tsx, and so this is where they get passed in, and
Scroll up.
yeah, let me see how nav handles it. Let me see, because navbar. Which one is navbar?
Navbar is where the run button and everything else is.
So that's separate from the code editor?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Let me see how navbar
because
handles
there
it.
is share button as well there.
Yeah, so let me see how navbar handles it then. So if we go to navbar, and navbar has user data here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that assumes, I don't know why there's two semicolons here. Um, never be too safe, but that assumes that actually we can't say anything here. So we have the share sandbox modal.
Basically, that it is passed here because we are implementing share button and deploy button in here.
Yeah, so that one doesn't do anything,
No,
doesn't have any side effects.
no,
Whereas our code editor has the side effect of needing to create a socket.
yeah.
Uh, so I'm just wondering. So here,
And
if you look in code page,
I'm looking at it
user,
right now, and we're getting current user.
right, using await current user, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so um and then if the user doesn't exist, we're redirecting. Okay, this is interesting. I think this might be the first time I've seen this code myself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really interesting to use in a, oh, this is an async component, which um I'm not super familiar with, but that must be a Next.js. Um,
It's basically
do you use these?
yeah, I do use this sync
Okay,
function. It's basically it doesn't it basically waits for whatever is in the await and then it gets
right.
rendered. Basically that.
So so if I understand, like the question that I'm trying to get down to is, will it ever load this where this is null, right? Is that possible? Because if it's not possible, then the socket thing could be much easier. Like it could be.
Uh, sorry. Tell me again.
So if we go back to index.tsx here,
Yeah.
what we're doing on line 65 or in this whole chunk of code is we are, at least with this part, is we are waiting for user ID and sandbox
User and sandbox ID. Yeah.
before creating the socket. But what I'm seeing in the other code is that this component never gets created without these. So waiting for them is actually not necessary.
Hmm. That's true. I think
I'm not completely confident in that, but we can try.
we can test it.
So easy way to test it would be, well, so how would we know if this breaks?
Uh, the main thing would be the component not getting created. Basically,
Um,
it will just keep loading and loading.
the if the socket, um,
If the socket is not there, then the editor will any of the files will not open basically.
right, okay. Yeah, if the socket isn't working, then the
Yeah,
file
then the
editor
terminal will not work and then the
should,
files will not load.
yeah, that's what you meant by loading and loading. Okay, I get
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So, um, so I'm gonna try something like really simple, which is just gonna be, um, so use socket. Do we need, um, Like, I'm honestly just wondering if I can delete this.
You
Uh,
can delete that.
like, actually, I'm just wondering if I can do this. Who knows?
Okay, let me just
Maybe,
see.
maybe this is completely stupid what I'm trying right now.
Okay, let me just refresh it. Then
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
okay. But why is it calling this function a lot of times?
So let's go back to the code. I want to show you something real quick. Oh, what just happened? What was that? Or is
Oh,
that?
that was just this is
Oh, that's that's
icon file, so
a
that's
bitmap or
fine.
something. Okay. Yeah. So let's go back here. So yeah. So where was I? So here, right? So so this. Do, when does this get run? This bit?
This one?
Yeah, this line 58.
Yeah, so whenever this whenever user gets into this
Uh,
editor.
this line gets run every time the code editor component renders.
Yeah, basically that, yeah.
So that's like a bajillion times.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, that's just React. But if we put
Hmm.
it in here, then
See.
when does it get run?
Just once.
Just once exactly when
But
the component renders. And
yeah, yeah.
and then if we would do something like this, um,
Data
it it
dot ID.
would sandbox just or this for example. Um,
User data dot ID, sandbox data dot ID, or maybe.
well, I think it should be. Can you do that?
Yeah, because we're just getting we just need the ID, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know that you could do that in a use effect. But if you can, it's fine.
No, we can.
You can.
Yeah.
So and then what would this do?
Yeah, it's basically the same.
It's the same because this would run it again if these change, but they don't change.
They don't change, yeah, that's true.
So,
So we don't need it, basically.
so I think we can do this.
Yeah. And we're getting the we're getting the socket from usocket anyways from here. And the socket is new socket, and then socket is created here. Yeah, side socket.
Yeah, I took out the socket because I don't think those would change either.
No, socket will not change. Socket is basically created once and then deleted once when the user exits the editor and goes back to the dashboard. So that's fine. So,
Yeah. So
so
yeah,
this is enough.
I'm guessing it is enough.
Yeah.
I would be willing to guess that this is fine. And then the other thing I was saying is that it's also possible to like to do oh yeah, it should also, if that's possible, it should also be possible to rewrite usocket to do it this way. Um, do you see, because
Think, yeah,
um,
use socket.
and then we would do something like um, that's interesting actually. But we do we call use socket in different places from different components, right?
Yeah, I think set user ID and sandbox ID is used elsewhere as well. I'm just looking at it. where it should
Wait,
be.
but it should only be used here because this is the only. It only needs to be used in one place, right?
Yeah, I think we can remove it. Yeah,
Wait,
let me just remove it.
wait. What are you talking about?
So if you go to socket context,
Uh, Here, show me. I'm following you. Okay.
okay, but I don't think you can follow me. Can you follow me through different files?
Think so. I see
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah, okay. So in socket context, um, we're just taking in user ID and sandbox ID from here and basically getting a new socket, right?
Well, where do they come?
So
Where does this come from? User ID and sandbox ID.
yeah, so they come from where it was user ID, sandbox ID, site user ID, sandbox ID.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
that happens when they get set. That happens after
yeah,
this. Yeah,
exactly. So I think this is needed.
yeah. That is needed.
That is needed.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And
Yeah. I was.
after we get it, new user ID and sandbox ID, we're just putting it here, site user ID, and then we're taking user ID, sandbox ID from this use state and putting it here to get a new socket. And then basically use socket, we can use socket anywhere else in our code.
Yeah. So when we use it somewhere else
Hmm,
in the code, then we would want to use a use effect with socket as a dependency, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Because then we actually need to know that it's connected. Um,
Hmm.
or even later in this code, right? Actually,
Yeah,
can I just try that? So if I do here and then I do socket, right? Um,
socket.
yeah, like something like this.
Hmm.
Can we try that?
Let me just do this. Socket, object, connected. There is a socket.
Okay, so it just
There's a
happens.
socket object.
So it just happens once,
Yeah, just happened once.
and
Yeah,
it happens. Oh, okay, but there is one thing that I see that's important to note. Um, See where I am in a socket context right now? You see where I am?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So question, does if we watch socket with use effect and then we get that because actually for a sec go back to your your JavaScript console. And I think this is like a small detail. It seems like a small detail, but actually I think this is going to be important for the kind of stuff we're doing. So the
hmm,
socket object stuff. Oh, that actually happens twice, but I think that's a I think that may be a strict. I believe that might be a strict
yeah,
mode thing.
yeah. That's
Oh
gonna be a
wait.
strict
Oh, I
mode.
see it 4 times.
No, this
That's
was before.
you refreshed?
Yeah. So as you see, this is socket disconnected. So this is where
Okay.
I went back to the dashboard.
Okay. Um. So basically, this socket object it happens. It's it's happening before the socket connected log. You see that?
Yeah.
And the reason for that is that that doesn't mean just because socket is set, that doesn't mean that the socket is connected yet,
Hmm.
right? It just means the socket object has been created.
Yeah.
So that's something we need to watch out for.
The socket is getting set before the socket is connected, and that's how it should be, right?
Well, this is just an example, but if we go down to where well, let me think about that. Um, yeah, maybe. I guess that's okay. So down below we are using socket and use effect.
Hmm.
So you're saying you can add event handlers to the socket before it's connected, right? And you should, right? That's what you're saying.
Uh, s- Event handlers to the socket before it's connected.
Because like we're watching socket,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And then yeah, like here. Um, we have the use callback. Now I need to remember what this was doing. Man, this live blocks code is quite long. Okay. Maybe we'll just come back to that. Maybe we'll just keep going step by step. But I do think we made some progress here.
Yeah, we removed some unnecessary code. Yeah.
Hopefully, completely unnecessary. So for me, I understand now what this does. So I'm gonna write a comment here, and I'll say, you know, so um, pass the pass the
Pass
user
the user data, user and sandbox ID to the socket and side socket.
um,
Basically, now this is enough, I think.
the socket. I would make it for myself. I'd even want to add like then the I was gonna say um, causing the socket to connect.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, to be created and to connect. Yeah, so like all of that happens just from this.
Hmm. This is really amazing to look at, like context API,
Which part?
because like I mean all of the context API that we have implemented,
Uh-huh.
whether it is terminal, the socket, or preview, like we removed a lot of code from this file to other files, and now we can use like terminal anywhere we want,
Yeah,
socket anywhere we want.
yeah, and I think that's really the key to this. I mean, this file is 850 lines.
Yeah,
It could have been a lot worse. It
it could
would,
have been a lot worse. Yeah,
and doing maybe the same thing or maybe using maybe similar techniques, we can make it even more manageable.
even more manageable. Yeah.
The power of abstraction. So, um, man, where am I? I'm lost. Okay, then we
Yeah,
have preview
preview
button.
button state,
So here,
socket,
backend
service,
socket to the backend
socket to the backend.
server. Okay, preview button state. Preview button. Preview. Wait, which is the preview button?
So preview button is preview. No, so it's not exactly preview button state because we don't have a preview button right now. because it just is merged with run button, but you can change the comment to preview window state
Panel, yeah.
panel. Yeah,
Yeah. Preview panel state.
because before
So
we had the button and now we don't. I mean, we do have it, but I disabled it because it's now merged with
what
preview
is
button.
what would the preview button do?
So preview button is basically when you click on it, it will open the preview window even if the project is not running or the preview is not running. Basically that.
Oh,
But since we have a run button now,
yeah,
like
that's kind
and
of
also preview button, we don't actually need it,
not really.
um, because we don't need to see at preview window if the preview is not there. So
I think I know what you're thinking of. Yeah, this seems superfluous, really. We can implement that feature in 10 years, I think. So, um, and then disable X. What's this? I think I know what this is, but I'm not sure.
um, disable access. I also forgot it.
I think I know. I know what this is. It's not clear. So,
Oh
um,
yeah, it's basically the uh live blocks collaboration where if you're not the owner, um you cannot access the other files. Basically that I think.
yeah. Oh, you wait, but I'm pretty sure it's the.
Disable access.
I'm pretty sure it's the. It's for the terminal, not the files. Or is it for the files?
No, no, no. Definitely it's for the files. Because you see, where when we were both testing the collaboration feature, and I was the owner, you were not able to, I think, edit. No, you were able to edit.
But that's what
Um,
collaboration is.
yeah, you were not able to save, I think.
Uh,
There was something that you were not able to do because I was the owner.
that was the terminal.
Was it? I don't think it's the terminal.
Well, it appears we have a difference in memory.
Shared users show an
Well,
interest
I
in
cannot
terminal.
argue. um, there's a modal. Okay.
Um, Disable access. Go to that model. Well, let's see what it does.
Well, it apparently does nothing. Oh, wait. I think I might know what it is.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. So it definitely wasn't the. Um, oh, hello, Ahmed. Adam Mormi. Do, well, I don't read Arabic, but I hope this says something nice.
Yeah, it says hello.
Wait, you can read it?
No, 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 I cannot. I just Google translated it.
um, hello. Thank you for joining us. So I know what it is. Maybe it's what you were trying to say. Maybe it's what you were saying is that if two people have one file open and then the owner closes the window.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying they couldn't edit anymore. No, but they get completely blocked out. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
So it's basically I'm looking at the disable access model, and it's basically that if the user closed the file, and if you're not the owner, then it will redirect you to the dashboard.
When the owner closes the project,
Yeah, basically the project, it will redirect you to the dashboard.
other
Basically that.
users get kicked out. Basically, get
Kicked out to dashboard.
uh,
Basically that.
is disabled, gets set for the but the modal actually. Oh, okay, the modal and then okay.
Hmm.
Um, That's important. So you probably have to go to dinner, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
That's fine. Um, I would just make a new. Um,
Yeah, I make a new PR and well,
oh, just
um,
you can just make a new branch, and we'll come back and come and push this, and we'll come
oh
back
yeah,
to.
this is from my side, right?
Yeah, yeah. I actually can't
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
do anything here.
Components.
So
Did we make a change in navbar index.tsx?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Can you? You should be able to see in the version
Oh
control, right?
yeah, I just removed a text. So the space, a space.
There was like an extra semicolon somewhere.
Yeah, extra semicolon. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just renaming the. What should I rename the branch to? I'm on the main branch actually.
Don't rename the main branch, please.
No, no, no. I'm renaming the this branch.
I would just you can just make a branch. I would just call it refactor. That's basically what this is going to
Yeah,
become. This is
refactor. Yeah,
your refactor, you know.
new branch, and it's called refactor from main. Okay, I created it. Um, fix one.
This is more of a chore from this is more of a chore
Yes,
because there's no change,
sure.
no functional change.
Fixing, no, refactoring.
Yeah, I would just say like removing unnecessary code. That's basically
Yeah,
what we
I think.
or we removed unnecessary use effect.
Yeah, I just pushed it.
That's great. I think if we do this a couple more, it takes time, but I think if we do this a couple more times, that
We can do this.
it's gonna be like really way more readable. Sweet. All right, man. Go get some. Let's
Yep.
let's keep working on this. I think it will help a lot to make the project more accessible
Yeah.
to newcomers.
And what's again? I forgot about this person that we're meeting with, Dhruv.
Oh yeah.